Life is a journey through time. Purpose is a journey through life. And every journey has at least 3 phases. Phase 2 is the one we all hate, but need. Some of you are going through number 2 right now, and you barely saved your ass. You crashed financially, you're suffering violence and abuse, your health is hanging by a thread. Chaos has become a lifestyle. Nothing's stable, nothing's predictable anymore. So hear me. Number 2 isn't a curse. It's not a life sentence. It's just a pattern. And the pattern is this: opposition and disruption always following tension. I'll say it again. Opposition and disruption always following tension. Every single time. That's life's design. Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. In today's video, let's reframe this journey so you can endure number 2 without losing yourself and arrive at phase 3 with stability. Follow me. I'm Christian Sisson, founder of NEWMEFY.com, an online space where you discover your purpose, become the new you, and start a new life. And I rebuilt myself many times, coming out of depression, addictions, and total collapse. And in the process, I've cracked the code of purpose. This is what you're going to find at this YouTube channel. Keep watching. Every journey has a pattern that can be broken down into at least 3 phases. Pay attention. Assignment, adversity, authority. Blueprint, battle, breakthrough. Or calling, conflict, coronation. Or dream, doubt, delivery. It could be purpose, pruning, power, or seed, struggle, stewardship. That's the pattern. Descent before ascent, down and then up. The reason people suffer in number 2 is because they think number 2 means God left me. I missed it. I'm cursed. This is my new normal. I'm being punished. I'm a loser. So they panic and start grabbing shortcuts, or they get numb and start settling, or they bash themselves in total obliteration. They become bitter instead of better. They don't treat number 2 like a phase. They start treating number 2 like a home. They have a flat tire in the desert, and instead of fixing the damn tire, they camp in the desert. They build a house there and stay there forever. Let me reframe this to you. That's not the right way to look at it. And once you understand this is a pattern, you will start to treat it as a pattern, as something expected and desired if you're on the path to the new you. Because life has a design. Phase 2 is there to work on you and train you to stay in phase 3 longer with stability and wisdom, so you don't ascend and then descend right back later. We all hate number 2, I get it. But here's the truth. You don't get to phase 3 by pretending phase 2 doesn't exist. You don't get to phase 3 by leapfrogging phase 2. You get to phase 3 by becoming the kind of person who can survive phase 2 and stay in phase 3, because the descent prepares for the ascent. Strength is gained on the way down so you can stay stable when you're up. Does that make sense? Let's go through the phases again. Dream, doubt, delivery. The new you loves it. Descent before ascent. The old self hates number 2. Purpose, pruning, power. The new you knows it's tough on the front end, but it's easy on the back end. The old self hates number 2. Calling, conflict, coronation. Yeah, the new you is faithful on the way down so he can be fruitful on the way up, but the old self still hates number 2. But if you leapfrog number 2, there's no phase 3, because the descent prepares for the ascent. Strength is gained on the way down so you can have a stability and stay in power when you're up. You hate down, up will hate you. You resist down, up will resist you. Phase 2 is how God sends meaning to your life. Embracing phase 2 is how you deliver expression back to him. That's the design of the game. The new you understands something. Phase 2 is not punishment. 2 is preparation. 2 is pruning. 2 is pressure that reveals meaning and purpose. So the question isn't, how do I escape number 2? That's praying out. The real question is, how do I pass phase 2 and get even better so I can stay in phase 3 longer and stay in power? That's praying through. So old me, NEWMEFY, I would say, old me, when phase 2 hits, I assume it's a curse. So the old me freaks out and prays out of number 2, or settles in a house in the desert and becomes bitter. But the new me knows when phase 2 hits, the new me recognizes, oh, that's a pattern. The new me prays through phase 2, not out. The new me understands the training. The new me understands life works on me before it works for me. The new me endures, and the new me persists with faith and accountability toward number 3, so it can stay in power. NEWMEFY is the bridge. You learn to read number 2 correctly. It's a pattern. So you endure it clean, and then you exit it wiser. So you can enter phase 3 and stay there. If something in you knows you're not living the life you were born for because you keep mistaking phase 2 for a curse instead of a pattern, keep watching. These teachers will pull you out of your old self into the new you on purpose. Subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment with your takeaway. Till the next video, signing off.